I'm going to be showing you guys how to manipulate your darts using both the slash and spread method and the pivot method.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
Hi Silem stars, you're welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and you're not a member of the Silem stars, what are you waiting for? Join the Silem stars by hitting the subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free and it helps the channel grow. In today's video, we're going to be talking about dart manipulation. I recently put a post on my community tab asking you all what videos you would like to see next from me. Most of you actually requested for dart manipulation. It's surprising because I didn't think that was something you guys wanted to learn. But on the other hand, I am actually very excited to be doing a video on this. What are darts? Darts are techniques, if you will, that help you to shape the garment that you're making to conform to the figure of the individual that you're making the garment for. As simple as that. In other terms, darts are basically used to conform a 2D pattern to fit a 3D body form. So we as individuals, we have that 3D shape. Our bodies are not flat. We are not two-dimensional. We are not flat. We have curves and we have contours in different parts of our bodies. Especially for women, we have more curves. It helps you to take in parts of the body that are not so full and then accentuates the parts of the body that are actually fuller. It's important to note that darts always point to the fullest part of the body. In the case of a bodice, the fullest part is the bust, specifically the bust point. So if you measure from your shoulder to your nipple, that is going to be your bust point, and that is the fullest part of your bodice. Okay? Now in the case of a trouser or a skirt, we know that the fullest part is the hip. In the case of a dress, we have two full parts. We have the bust area for the top part of the dress, and for the bottom part of the dress, we have the hip or the bum to be the fullest part. In the case of making a dress, you're going to be utilizing a different kind of dart from when you're making a top. Now, there are two kinds of darts. We have the standard dart and we have the contour dart. The standard darts usually have the apex of the dart, which is the pointy part of the dart, facing in one direction only. So it's either it's facing upwards or it's facing downwards. However, the contour darts are usually called double-ended darts, and that's because they have two apexes. So they have 2 points, one facing up and one facing down. It could be used on a dress where one apex or one tip of the dart is pointing upwards towards the bust and the other end is pointing downwards towards the hip of the dress. I hope that makes sense, guys. Now, when it comes to types of darts, there are various types of darts. We have the armhole dart, we have the French dart, which comes from the sides, we have the regular waist dart, we have the princess dart that connects the shoulder to the waist. That's for the shoulder princess dart. We also have the armhole princess dart that connects the armhole dart to the waist dart. So there are different types of darts. Now we know what darts are. Now, what is dart manipulation? Dart manipulation is simply moving an existing dart from one part of the pattern to another part of the pattern. For example, you might want to move your shoulder dart to the waist, or you might want to move your waist dart to the sides. You might also want to move your waist dart from the side to the tip of the shoulder. You can basically play around with it. There are numerous ways that you can play around when it comes to dart manipulation. Dart manipulation is usually done to change the style lines or designs of the garments. However, it's important that you have to note that when you actually move your darts using dart manipulation, you can decide not to actually sew the darts in the new location. So when I'm saying new location, I mean that, for example, if you have a dart on your waist and you want to move it to your shoulder, the shoulder becomes the new location. Now, it's important for you to note that when you actually move the darts to the shoulder, you do not have to actually sew down the darts in this new location being the shoulder. You can actually replace that with pleats or gathers. Now, when it comes to dart manipulation, there are two methods. There's the slash and spread method and there's the pivot method. I'm going to be showing you guys how to manipulate your darts using both the slash and spread method and the pivot method. But for this video, I'm only going to be showing you guys the slash and spread method because I don't want the video to get too long. However, in my next video, which is going to be uploaded next week Saturday, I'm going to be showing you guys how to manipulate your darts using the pivot method. So without further ado, let's get right to demonstration. So this is what our basic bodice looks like. This obviously is going to be cut on fold. This is our neckline, our armhole. The waist area here has gone in, as you can see, and it just opens out. All right. So now your darts can be placed anywhere on this piece, and once you've placed it, you can move it to any other point on the piece as well. Now you know that this bust point here is the line where the dart is supposed to point towards. We want to know what exact point per se. We know the line, but want to know the exact point. Is it here that it's supposed to point to? Is it here or here? Now the easiest way to know this is your bust span measurement. Now your bust span measurement is basically your nipple to nipple measurement. So you measure from one nipple to the other nipple. For me, it's 8 inches. 8 inches divided by 2 because our pattern is on fold. That will give us 4 inches. So we can see that roughly this right here, this point here, is our bust point. So we've seen that this is the line going downwards vertically. We've seen that from the shoulder to the bust point line is on this point. Now moving in horizontally, we've seen that the distance from one nipple to the other nipple is 8 inches. Now when we divide that by 2, we're going to see that it's 4 inches. So this right here, this point right here, is the bust point. So all our darts have to face this bust point. Obviously, I'm showing you this in a half scale. This is just one side of the pattern. Whatever you do on this side, you obviously have to replicate it on the other side as well. Okay? Now, our basic waist dart that we all know and love is the one that goes from the waist down here and goes all the way up to face this bust here. So we're just going to draw a line, straight line. Now, our darts have to, the tip of our dart is supposed to be away from the bust point by 1 inch. So this is our bust point here by 1 inch, and we know that that point is here. So that's where our dart is going to stop. Please ignore these 2 points here, because this point is the under bust point and this is the armhole, line point. But I didn't want to extend it because I don't want to confuse you guys. So we're going to extend this line all the way to meet this point here. Okay, so this is our waist dart. This is the first step. Now this right here is the dart apex. So I mentioned dart apex. So this is the tip of the dart, or where the dart points to. So this is the dart apex. Now you also want to determine how wide your dart is going to be, and that is called the dart volume. So what works most of the time is usually 1/2 inch on both sides of this line. Okay, so that will give us a 1 inch wide dart. So that means the dart volume is 1 inch. So we're going to mark 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on this side. Now you can make this bigger or smaller if you want. Like I said, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Now we're going to connect that all the way up to the dart apex like that, and the same thing with the other side. Now this is our basic waist dart. Okay, now if you want to move this waist dart to the side, for example, we want to move it to the side here, so it comes from this point to this point. We're going to be using the slash and spread method to achieve that. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Now what you have to decide is the point where you want the new dart to be. Now we're going to be moving this waist dart to this point here. I want it to come from the waist here and then obviously point towards this bust point. Okay, so for example, this point here, right here, I want the dart to start from this point here. So I've marked that point here where I want the dart to start. Now I want the apex of the dart to be 1 inch from this bust point. So that's what we're going to mark now. So 1 inch from the bust point, we're going to mark that. And this is it, 1 inch right here. Now if we connect this line, as you can see now, if we connect this line to this point here, this is what we're going to have. Okay, can you see? Now this is where our new dart is going to be. Now we're going to go ahead and just cut along this line here. Okay, we're also going to cut along this line here as well. And now to open up this dart, we're just going to go ahead and just use this and cover up this dart here. Okay, can you see that, guys? Can you see that we've moved this dart from here to here? As you can see, this part now is open, and as you can see, we've created the dart here. Very, very easy. That is all there is to the slash and spread method when it comes to dart manipulation. It's very easy. we're going to be doing more examples. Okay, so you can go ahead and just tape this down with your sellotape or masking tape, and then you have your new dart on this side now. Okay, now we're going to move this dart here, we're going to move it to the shoulder. Okay, so we want to have it at the center of the shoulder. Shoulder is 5 inches wide, so we want to have it at 2.5, which is the center. And then from the middle point here, obviously we want it to be 1 inch from that point there. So marking that 1 inch point here, which is this point here. Now we're going to connect that all the way here. Now this dart has to be complete before you move it, so we're going to obviously complete it. So we're going to have that 1 inch width for the volume of our dart here, 1 inch here. We're going to connect that up here. So as you can see now, I've gone ahead to connect this point to this point. So I've drawn that line. So like I said, we're going to be moving this dart from here to here. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and just close up this part that we've cut up. So I'm going to use my sellotape to do that. I've gone ahead to close up this dart now so that we have just this one open. This one isn't open anymore. Now that we've opened this one, I'm going to also go ahead and just slash this point. So by slash I mean cut along this line all the way to this point here that we marked. We're using this dart leg, and we're going to carry this dart leg and make it meet the other dart leg, and that would close this up and then open this one. So can you see? If I do that, once I move that, can you see that now? So I've gone ahead to just close this dart and I've opened this one. Guys, it is so easy. As you can see, wherever you choose to place your new dart, all you have to do is slash one of the dart legs of the previous dart. Only one, you don't need to slash both of them. Slash the line or the position where you want your new dart to be created, and then all you have to do is take one of the previous dart legs and make it meet the other dart leg, just like I've done over here, so that we don't have this dip in here. We obviously take this down and then transfer this into a new pattern paper where I can actually have that part covered. So from this illustration, you can see that we've been able to move our waist dart that we created. We've been able to move it from the waist to the side there, and we've also been able to move the side dart to the shoulder. You can have darts in any part of your garment, like I mentioned. You can have darts going from this tip here pointing to this point. This is usually called the shoulder tip dart. You can have darts from here to this point here as well. This one here, this side dart here, is usually called the bust dart or the side dart. And so you can have a dart that goes from here and stops just at the 1 inch mark before this point. You can have a dart that will go in like this as well. You can have a dart that will go from the waist all the way upwards like this. From the center front there, you can have it pointing upwards towards that point there. You can have a dart basically that goes anywhere, guys. I just want you guys to be able to play with this. All you have to know is that you need to put it in such a way that it points towards the fullest part, which is in this case is the bust. It points towards the fullest part, and you have to decide how wide, that's the volume of your dart, and you have to decide the apex. So how close is it going to get to the fullest part? So guys, with this, I hope you guys understand dart manipulation. In my next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to manipulate your dart using the pivot technique. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.